Oh, so today's Yadalit Kislev, the 14th of the month of Kislev. What is so special about today? So today is the wedding day. Actually, tonight is the night when the Rebbe got married, the Rebbe's chasana.
Why do they take so long to get married? They waited for years.
So the main reason is the Rebbe wanted his parents to participate in his chasana, and they were trying to work it out, and that's why they was just pushing it off. And also there was a war happening. It was simple. The matzav. The Rebbe was by his shver for a good few years, even from Tafresh Pei Zayin already. Pei Gimel is when the Rebbe saw his shver for the first time. Tafresh Pei Gimel. Yeah, so she's by me. She says, "Okay." So today is the Rebbe's wedding anniversary. Now the question is, why are we celebrating this day? Think about it. No, maybe someone's thinking.
I don't even celebrate my own anniversary.
Yeah. So what is this like a private? The Rebbe's own private event, in his private life. Therefore, when he got married, so we're celebrating it. Like, what is, so to speak, the Rebbe celebrating his brother's birthday. Like, what's that have to do with me? So, first of all, Chassidim do celebrate such things from the Rebbe, even though it's only an event that has to do with the Rebbe, seemingly his own private, his own private life, so to speak. But we're gonna, even if that's what the case is, still Chassidim out of love of the Rebbe, they feel if something happens to the Rebbe, if a happy thing happens to the Rebbe, it's a happy day for the Rebbe. For them, it's also a happy day out of being connected to the Rebbe. That's number one. But number two, that's not the case over here. This day, the Rebbe said regarding this day, in Yiddish, the Rebbe said, "Das ist der Tag, was hat verbunden mir mit euch und euch mit mir." This is the day, and because of this day made me connected to you, and you to me, and together, und zusammen, this is the day that connected the Rebbe to the Chassidim, and connected the Chassidim to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said together we will toil out, and we're going to work hard, and we're going to bring the Gula Mitzvah Shleima together. Which means this is a day that I was saying in very simple words, because he got married to the Rebbetzin. This made him become the next Rebbe in Lubavitch, because he married the Rebbe Rayatz's daughter. The Rebbe Rayatz had no sons. And what's the reason, so to speak, why the Rebbe is the Rebbe of Chabad, which the Rebbe is saying that connected me to you and you to me? It's because of this day. Because he got married today to the Rebbe Rayatz's daughter, therefore, this is the day that's connecting the Rebbe to the Chassidim and the Chassidim to the Rebbe. And the Rebbe continues, and together we will work hard, together. When the Rebbe is connected to us and we're connected to the Rebbe, we will bring the Gula Shleima. This is the Rebbe saying the whole purpose is to bring the Gula Mitzvah Shleima. The Rebbe actually has an very interesting Sikha. The Rebbe mentions, why did the Rebbe Rashab establish the yeshiva of Tomchei Temimim during the Shava Brachos of the Rebbe Rayatz? Why did the Rebbe Rashab establish the Rebbe Rayatz's chasana is Gimel Elu, Tafresh and Zayin, and then during the Shava Brachos, the Rebbe Rashab established the yeshiva of Tomchei Temimim. And then they started learning on Chai Elul. I think Tezvov Elul, the Rebbe Rashab established the yeshiva of Tomchei Temimim, and they started learning on Chai Elul. Why during the Sheva Brachos of the Rebbe Rayatz? Why then? Why all of a sudden then? Or earlier or later? So the Rebbe explained, because then when the Rebbe Rayatz got married, that gave the ability of a third generation being born. It says lo yomusha mipicha, mipi zaracha, or mipi zaracha. Whenever the Torah, when there's a chazak, when the Torah is three generations, it says then the Torah doesn't leave. There's a chazaka that the Torah is never going to leave that the Klal Yisrael, that family, that dynasty. If there's three generations in a row, there's actually an interesting video. Everyone knows that one of the Rav of Crown Heights, Rabbi Yosef Yishai Broin, he Zaidi made a famous set of She'orim HaMetzuyonim Ba'alacha. There's a famous set, halachic set, She'orim HaMetzuyonim Ba'alacha, that Rebbe actually has that set in his room. It's one of the sets that in his room. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch and She'orim HaMetzuyonim Ba'alacha. He guys brings Kitzur Shulchan Aruch with his orders and more up-to-date things, and this he made then in Tavshin Zayin or Tavshin Ches, with much more practical halachas. So basically, he wasn't a Lubavitcher, he was a Mungacher Chassid, Shlomo Zalman Broin, and his children were in Lubavitcher. His grandson was learning then in Yeshivat Chibin in Yerushalayim, and then all of a sudden he started getting close to Chabad, and he was like, learning a lot of Chassidus, and he was hanging around Yeshiva of Teres Emes, the Rosh Yeshiva then of Yeshivat Chibin in the Baruch Shemon Shneerson. He wasn't a Lubavitcher, no. There's pictures of him with Pei, when he was a Bacher.
I guess with Pei.
I'm saying he wasn't a Lubavitcher. Originally he wasn't a Lubavitcher. Then he got very close to Lubavitcher. He started learning Chassidus until he just went to Lubavitch Yeshiva. So his Zaidi was scared that his Einikel is going to become a Lubavitcher, and what he's going to do all day? He's going to go on Mitzrayim. He's going to, I don't know what, put on people fill it. He's not going to learn. And by him, he's off. He's a Gerisha God and Shlomo Zalman Broin. His son, Chaim Eliezer, but he was also very great at Talmud Chacham, and he was scared his grandson is going to become now like some troublemaker, waste his time. So he came to the Rebbe by dollars, and he told the Rebbe he has an Einikel that's learning at Lubavitch. The Rebbe said, I want he should learn. I want him to, he should be allowed, he should learn. So the Rebbe told him, don't worry, you have a Avtacha, his son was a Rav, his Zaidi was a Rav, his father was a Rav. The Rebbe said the Torah is going to continue, also with your Einikel. He's going to be a Laban. That's what the Rebbe said. So now he's talking the Rav in Crown Heights. Okay, whatever. That was a side point. But the Rebbe Rashab had a son, the Rebbe Rayatz. But now that's only two generations. Where could there be a chazaka for a third generation? That's when the Rebbe Rayatz gets married, and that's giving the ability of him having a daughter, and he's going to have a daughter, he's going to have a husband, which is the Rebbe. So basically, the Rebbe was saying that the Rebbe Rashab was waiting for their ability of another generation to be born. That's why he was waiting until the Sheva Barachas, till the Rebbe's generation was ability for the Rebbe's generation. So the point over here is that the Rebbe's Chasana, the Rebbe is saying that this is the day that gave the ability for the Rebbe to be our Rebbe. This is the ability for this generation started off today. So the whole connection, the Rebbe says this is the day that connected us to the Rebbe and the Rebbe to us. This is the day the Rebbe called it. This is the day that started off this connection. If not for this day, the Rebbe would be a private person, so to speak. The Tzemach Tzedek has a lot of Einik, and the Rebbe would be, so to speak, another Einik from the Tzemach Tzedek, not necessarily would be the next Lubavitcher Rebbe. So the Rebbe is saying this is the day, it's a very special day that our whole connection to the Rebbe and the Rebbe's connection to us started off today. So that's one of the reasons why this is not a regular day. It's not just a private event, in the Rebbe's personal life. Rather, we should be happy that this is a day that we were, that this gave the ability for the seventh generation to be made, and this gave the ability of the Rebbe being connected to us, all what the Rebbe gave us, and all what we have from the Rebbe, and all of us, and also the Rebbe says the day that connected us to the Rebbe, this that we can be part of the Rebbe's army and the Rebbe's vision and the Rebbe's, the whole ability of the Rebbe to make shluchim and everything that the Rebbe did till, like the Rebbe says, we're going to bring the Gula Shlema together. this started off mainly today, Yudalit Kislev. So this is a day that the Rebbe asked we should celebrate, and especially this is a happy day, this is a chasana, this is a simcha. Another important thing the Rebbe mentions, the Rebbe says this about other Rabbeim, about the Rebbe Rayatz and the Rebbe Rashab and other Rabbeim. So if, like the Rebbe always brings from Pirkei Yovis, the Rebbe brings actually from Lekutei Moharan. It's one of, I don't know if it's the only time, or one of the several, times that the Rebbe mentions Lekutei Moharan is regarding this. He says, know who you're going to make a din v'cheshbon. First it says din, and then it says cheshbon. How does it work in a regular court case? First you make a cheshbon, this, and you have eidim, and then you make a din. What does it say? Din, then cheshbon. So Reb Nachman Breslev says that in Beis Din Shalmaila, they show a person a certain case, and they say, what do you say about this guy? He's Chayiv, he's Zakai, what do you think about this? And he says his opinion about the case. And let's say, by the way, that's you also. That's exactly the person he just said, that's you. And now, so after he makes the din, the noch macht man a cheshbon. First he says the din, and then you make a cheshbon, then he tries to verenfer in ahead. But first comes din, then comes cheshbon. So the Rebbe said many times, whenever a tzaddik or anyone says something about something else, about someone else, he's first of all talking about himself. He's automatically, if he fits for that, if that hat fits his head, then he's talking about himself also. Even though he's talking about someone else, the Rebbe said this many times about the other Rebbe. If the Rebbe Rayat said something about a different Rebbe, really he's also speaking about himself. Din, and then also later comes the cheshbon. So the Rebbe spoke about his shveres chasana. First of all, the Rebbe said it's a time that we have to make Farbrengens during the day of his chasana. It's a happy day. You have to make Farbrengens during the Sheva brachas. And I was especially in Chodesh Kislev, the Rebbe said many times to make as many Farbrengens as possible in Chodesh Kislev. In Tavshin Nun, the Rebbe said to make a Farbrengen every single day of Chodesh Kislev. So especially when the Rebbe said, but regarding the other Rebbe, to make a Farbrengen the day of their chasana, for sure the Rebbe is also speaking about himself. And one of the things the Rebbe said then, that a chasana of a Rebbe is something very, very general, which means we say by the brachas of the chasana, speedily we should hear, we should we'll be able to rejoice with the Geula, with the big wedding of Hashem and Yidden in the Geula. Which means this is what every single private person is saying by his chasana. Why? Because every chasen says chasen doimel melech. A chasen is compared doimel melech. Who's the melech over here? Melech malch hamlach hakadosh baruch hu. Chasen is compared to Hashem, and the malch is compared to Klal Yisrael. And when every chasen and kala get married, that is like the Eibishter and the Yidden getting married. And the Gemara says, L'meitza Mashiach yiyu nisuin. When is going to be the marriage? The Matan Torah was the Eidersin, was like the beginning part. And the Nisuin, the Chasana, the actual Yichud of Yidden and Hashem is going to be in Yomeitza Mashiach. Now, when every single Chasana, why do we see that by a Chasana such a big simcha? We see the biggest simcha by Klal Yisrael is when there's a marriage. That's the biggest, happiest event you can have. A chasana, another chasana. What's so happy about this? Because in every chasana you have a taste of the chasana of the Gula. Every chasana and kal, when they're getting married, this is making the chasana of Hashem and Yidden happen even faster. This is speeding up the chasana of Yidden and Hashem, and this is speeding up. This is speeding up the big chasana. Every husband and wife is like the Eibishter and Yidden. Therefore, it's very, the Rebbe is very, every chasana, that's why we should make chasanas, v'cholu, Be'ezer Hashem, everyone that needs a shidduch, Yoyid, Amir Yoyid Ben, Yoyid Amir Ben, Chaysara, and you, whatever you.
I'm not looking just yet.
You also a kind of mamish, and every single year,
Rafa.
should have a brach. Everyone should get married. The sooner the better.
Right or not.
That's an Rebbe's opinion. The sooner the better. The sooner the better. Everyone that needs every year, this is Rebbe's chasna today. Every year should find easily, speedily, fast, with no. It should be clear. It should be very clear. It should be fast. Be'ezrat Hashem, and we should have very, very fast and clear the big chasna of Hashem. And didn't take it from Yad Mamish.
I saw in the book I'm reading on the Rebbe where before someone came to ask to show Eitzim for him. This was in 48. It was before he was the Rebbe, but they asked him. They wanted to get his advice whether he should marry a certain girl, and he said, "I can't help you with this. Your father can help you with this. Your mother can help you with this. Nobody can help you with this. You have to decide on your own."
Yeah. I heard about it.
He says even your seichel can help you with this.
The Rebbe told it to Rabbi Groner. The Rebbe says your heart needs to be the one. Your heart needs to be. It goes. The Regesh Alev, the Rebbe says, Mashiachas Alev, your heart needs to be the one to decide. You can't do it because he said, because that guy said, you need to feel that you want it. If you don't have that, yeah. So every chasana is a mekar of the gula. And another Indian why, besides for this, that every husband and wife is like the Yidden and the Eibishter. Also, in addition to that, the Rebbe explains that every chasana you have a gilui of the koyach ha'in soif, which means this world, everything eventually disappears. That's it. That's the way the Eibishter made this world for the past. You have a havadil, you have an animal. It lives and then it just dies out. Things are not bligvul. They're not ein soif. Everything is limited. But when someone gets married, there's ability now to make another generation, and that generation should create another generation, and that generation another generation. So this that we're still here till today is because of my parents got married, and how my parents around because their parents got married. How are we all around this table? Our parents got married. So by every marriage, there's the gilui or the koyach of the Ein Sof. The Hashem's infinite light shines by every chasana. Every chasana this is the potential for this world to continue running. And should run with no end. Bligvul. And that's what's going to be revealed in the Geula. Gilui Ein Sof Baruch Hu. The revelation of the infinite light of Hashem is going to be shining in this world. So by every chasana, when there's a gili of the Ein Sof, this is a te'ima the Gula. Therefore, the simcha of a chasana is very, very big. And the Rebbe says, if this is so, by every chasana, by every private person, any regular person, this is, by him getting married, he's speeding up the Gula. He's making this unity of Zoh Malchus, of Malban. And this is speeding up the big Geula, the big Chasana. How much more so when it's talking about a Nasi. By Nisim, by Rebbes, that they're like Nasi Adeir Ukachol Adeir. A Nasi, a Rebbe, even though he wasn't the Rebbe then, but every Rebbe is a Rebbe from the day he was born. A Rebbe isn't something that he gets elected and then he becomes a Rebbe, later on. He's born a Rebbe. He's born with this koyach to be a Rebbe. And every Nasi the Rebbe says, within the Chasen of the Rebbe Rayach, the Rebbe was talking about it, and like we're saying over here, the Rebbe is talking about himself also. This is much more, the Rebbe says an interesting gedank in Kuntis Beis Rabbeinu Shabbat. It says, why is the Shechina shine in the Beis Hamikdash? Why does the Shechina rest in the Beis Hamikdash? Why is the Shechina resting in the Beis Hamikdash? Why? Why did the Shechina rest in the Beis Hamikdash? The answer is because that's where they didn't get together. It says, "Va'asul Hamikdash, v'shachanti b'soichom." I'm going to rest. You make for me a Beis Hamikdash. I'm going to rest within them, within the Yidden. The Eibishter rests in the Yidden. So because the Yidden are Oile Rekel, because all the Yidden get together and they go to the Beis HaMikdash, therefore Hashem rests on the Beis HaMikdash. And then when the Yidden go to Golus, the Shekhinah doesn't stay in the Beis HaMikdash. The Shekhinah goes with the Yidden in Golus. Machol Makom Shegol Yisrael, the Shekhinah Imoim. Go to Bavel, go to Mitzrayim, go to Elam, go wherever the Yidden go to Golus, the Shekhinah goes with the Yidden. So the Shekhinah is resting within the Yidden. The Nasi Adoid, Rashi says, Nasi Adoid Huka Chol Adoid. Nasi, he's like the whole generation. And this is actually connected to Yud Kislev, Yites Kislev, the Maimer of Pada B'Shalom Nafshi, Ki Berabim Hoyu Yimodi. The Mittel Rebbe explains, Berabim, when many Yidden together, this reveals the level of Yechidah. The level of Yechidah, the highest level of the Neshama, gets revealed when you have many Yidden. So when you have many Yidden together, this reveals the deepest level of the Neshama, and therefore, Pada B'Shalom Nafshi. How could you get redeemed in peace? Because you're with many Yidden, and there you have the Gilu of Yechidah. The Nasi Adoid, Hu Kachol Adoid, he has a Neshama close, he has a general Neshama. His neshama includes in it all the neshamas of all the Yidden in the generation are all included in his neshama, just like by Adam Rishon, by Yaakov Avinu, and every nasi is nasi's nitzutzi shel Yaakov Avinu Rasha Tevis. Every nasi is like the Moshe Rabbeinu. It says Sheish Meis Elef Raglam Sharnecha Bikilbi. Moshe Rabbeinu has in himself all the neshamas of all the. Every nasi has in himself included all the neshamas of all the Yidden. So the Gemara says, where at Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, where is the Shekhinah? It says the Machlokes between Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Elazar says, where is the Shekhinah? But Beis Rabbeinu Shebebavel. The Shekhinah is in the house of the Nasi in Bavel. Why is the Shekhinah by Beis Rabbeinu Shebebavel? Because that's where it is. Yeah, so because the Nasi Adoid, Beis Rabbeinu, the Shechina is a Beis Rabbeinu Shabbat, because Rabbeinu, he has in himself included all the neshamas of all the Yidden of the whole generation. Therefore, the Shechina rests wherever Rabbeinu is. Because it's like, that's al derech like Alil Regel. That's al derech by the Beis HaMikdash, where you have all the Yidden in one place. So the Shechina rests where all the Yidden are. So too, wherever the Nasi Adoid is, that's where the Shechina rests. Therefore, the Gemara says in Megillah, according to Rabbi Elazar, that the Shechina, the Iker place where the Shechina is in Beis Rabbeinu Shebebavel, because it's not just this, he's not a private person. He's not just he happens to be there, so the Shechina is wherever he is. It's because he, besides for the fact that all the Yidden come to learn Torah from Rabbeinu, so you have many Yidden over here by him, but he in himself includes, by him, wherever he is, he has all the neshamas of all the Yidden over there included in him, and therefore the Shekhinah rests over there. So Al Derech Zeh explains that Heva Chasen of a Nasi is not just a private thing that he gets mad, rather this is much more stronger, this Indian of the Chasen of Yidden and the Eibishter, the Indian of Nesuin, and it's a much more kiddush for the Geula, and Al Derech says it's a very big simcha. The taste of the Geula is much more stronger by a Chasen of a Nasi, especially by the Rebbe, the Nasi Adoid, the last day of Golus and the first day of Geula, like the Rebbe said thousands of times. For sure, it's even stronger, the simcha, happiness of the Rebbe's Chasen, the day of the Rebbe's Chasen, Al-Chaim, Al-Chaim. Wanted to share, I need a bracha now. When Hashemayim, I'll pour myself, don't worry.
Got the Malcolm Chal over here.
Yeah, we have Malach B'chol, we have the Rebbe. So something very interesting happened to me. Ben knows. For the past few years, I kept in my pocket, I had an envelope.
Wait, what happened to that envelope? I saw it on the chat. What happened?
Naramli.
What
In the envelope, I would keep $10 from the Rebbe, $10 single from the Rebbe, a letter with the Rebbe's signature, and a piece from the Rebbe's beard. I had a hair from the Rebbe's beard. I always keep it in my pocket for the past few years. and a piece from the towel that Rebbe used in the mikveh, a piece from the Rebbe's pants, and a piece from the Rebbe's clothes. I used to always keep it in my pocket, and this Erev Shabbos. So now, what I wanted to say is, this past page, I used to keep in my pocket 3-4 letters of the Rebbe, more than one letter. I used to have like 4 or 5 letters in my pocket. This Pesach, I saw a Bacher in 770, I know, good guy. Eitan Shmuel Cohen Ben Shena Sarah. You find the Zivuk taken from Yad Mam Shalchaim. So I know that he's working hard, whatever. So I was thinking to myself, I had in my pocket a letter of the Rebbe for a shidduch. That the Rebbe gave a bracha for a shidduch, and the Rebbe signed the letter, original letter. Guf Kislev Kodesh. So I thought to myself, to be machazikim, you shouldn't, give up hope or whatever. Chas v'shalom. It's a good guy. To be machazikim, I'm going to give him to borrow the Rebbe's letter.
Give another one?
So listen, one thing at a time. So
Stop bidding.
so I took out the letter. I remember I was debating. I said I should give it to him. Is he going to watch it? I took out the letter, and I gave it to him. And I said, when you get the shidduch, give me back the letter. I gave him the letter. So instead of me having 3 letters of the Rebbe in my pocket, 2. By the Kiddush HaShluchim, I have a younger brother that's also looking now. He's already in the age of so I had a letter. This letter is even stronger. Here, the Rebbe wrote with his pen. Beguf Ksabet Kodesh Pivrocha Lizivugoi Yamatim Pekashmius Uberuchnis Bekorev Mamish. And the Rebbe signed. All this in the Rebbe's handwriting, not typed up. The Rebbe wrote this. So I took out the letter and I gave it to my brother. I said, you shall watch this letter till you find the shidduch. So I was down only to 1 letter in my pocket. So Baruch Hashem, I remember when I was looking for this letter, so now I was saying L'chaim, maybe she should help. I should find it, B'kar of Mamish, wherever it is, if it's by some Uber driver, maybe you should send me a message. I found it. I'm bringing it back to you now, whatever. If it's in my building, I shall find it by one of the neighbors. If I dropped it somewhere, I shall find it. If she should help, I shall find it. Take it from me at Mamish. So, but what I thought to myself while I was looking for it, and I was supposed to go in the sugar, I said, what did I see? Because I had Rachmanis on Yid, and I had Avos Yisrael. I didn't say, okay, I'm going to keep in my pocket. Why do I take it? I want to feel connect, like I want to feel, I have a Chavtz Shel Kedusha, I have something that the Rebbe put himself into to go around with it. That's why I keep it with me. To have the Rebbe's Kedusha. But I felt he needs help. And it didn't have health, so I took it out. And what's in his bar, I saved it. Not only I didn't, like because of this, because I gave it, I would go even more Michigan. At least I saved, you know what I'm saying? 2 letters. I saw you see when you have Avos Yisrael.
So through Avos Yisrael, you save letters. Give me one. And through this Avos Yisrael, you're gonna find it.
Yeah, so believe me that I'll give you one. I have another one. This one that I've actually wrote. That I wrote. Ksav Yad Kodesh. That I wrote Mazel Tov. That I wrote Mazel Tov. The bracha for a shidduch. Believe me, but I'm getting it back when you find the shidduch. Out tonight.
I'll get it first.
I think I have another one.
I'll get it first before him. We may need 2 for that.
Okay, I'm gonna look. Bleed if I have one, but I want all of these stuff is just halvo. I'm getting every single one back. Bleed. Just you watch it good, I remember even this. Even these other people.
Did it work? So what happened with my brother? What happened with this guy?
I'm waiting for them. But it's gonna Hashem. It's gonna work.
It's in the queue.
It's gonna Be'ezrat Hashem. The bracha, the Rebbe is nitzchi. It's in the letter. It's in there. I just saw. I remember. I thought to myself like I saw my face.
Farbrengen. And you know what the halachas I learned? I'm just finishing now the community rabbi course. I took it almost 2 years. I took it in for Eretz Yisrael, like in the Hebrew one, Rav Bet Knesset. I'm done with the course. It's like almost 2 years, like more than a year and a half. And I do the last test. I spend the whole day today, since the morning. Mama was like going through because I'm doing the last test. I just finished the halachas of Sheva Brachas.
Sheva Brachas.
Mamash now. It's like in that
Shkoch
one,
HaPratis.
it's like nine of them. You have 9 sections. That's why I have 2 more, right? About the Yichud and about Tznius, right? So this is like, but I'm much before I can for bringing here. I just wrapped up this one.
Wow. Okay, Shkoch HaPratis. Bli neder.
Number 2 is you have to answer. You know, when people need direction, need answer. So you learn a lot of halachas that you would never learn.
You have these booklets still?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I would want to go through it.
Amazing, because anything I need in all of that section, go find the Shulchan Aruch and the Mishnah Berurah and the
The made a shame to say that
so
for you.
over there you go in the subject, all the psakim of everything, the rishonim, the achreinim, everything, and Malam Mekayim is each one the psak. Where is the psak? Where is the psak? Where is the psak?
What's it called?
The man Yilmudu.
It's
Yeah,
a
doing through
course. It's a course. Yes,
through
the
the
man Yilmudu. Yeah.
The kid said when you do Avos Yisrael, it is actually connected very much to the Chassidus.
Yeah, something.
We see the Tshuda from the Rebbe's Chassidus is what? The Rebbe, it's interesting. What was the Rebbe's matana for his Chassidus? The Rebbe made a list of himself of matanas he got. What's the matanas? Kislev from the Rebbe. He said it from the Baal Shem Tov, from the Maggid, from each one of the Rabbeim, from the Tzemach Tzedek, for Baal Shem Tov and the Tzemach Tzedek, I remember for sure, and the Alter Rebbe. So the Tshuda from the Rebbe's Chasana is a present that he got the original handwriting of the Alter Rebbe. The Rebbe got a Ksaviyat of the Alter Rebbe as a matana, and that's the Tshuda.
Of what?
A handwriting of the Alter Rebbe. What's the handwriting? No, not anything. So what was the handwriting of the Alter Rebbe? The Moshe Meislish. And he's writing to him basically al derech ketointim and kol achsodim in the Geras HaKodesh, that not to make a machloikis even with the misnagdim, even though you have the right, they did their things, whatever, but
Don't get in.
obviously Yisrael. He writes that the most of the choris, the Alter Rebbe writes, that we have comes because of machloikis l'shem shamayim. Is l'shem shamayim, not machloikis koyach v'adosei. Machloikis l'shem shamayim, a kilo v'shamay. Doesn't the Alter Rebbe writes over there. Most of the tzaddis we have came because of machloikis l'shem shamayim. Therefore, you shouldn't even have machloikis l'shem shamayim. We might even azalcha machloikis. Alter Rebbe writes. And
How do you not have a L'Shem Shemayim though? It's inevitable. If it's L'Shem Shemayim, you can't back down.
But that's the problem, because
Something
each
has
guy.
to change your mind.
What was the whole problem with the
You can always
Talmudim?
compromise if it's not L'Shem Shemayim.
Define machlekes. What machlekes? What difference between not
The
agree?
reason why you can't compromise, like let's say you were fighting over something in court. I want 50. You should have paid me a certain amount of money. I should have paid you a certain amount of money. We do sure, okay, whatever. You can compromise. L'Shem Shemayim, you can't compromise, right? If you really feel it's L'Shem
So
Shemayim.
maybe you could connect this. Maybe you could connect this to what it says, that all the thousands of Talmudim of Rabbi Akiva, right in Sferes Ha'emer that were lifted. So the question that Rabbi asks, famous question is, who's the one that says Rabbi Akiva? He's the one to say Rabbi Akiva. How can it be that his Talmudim are the ones that are not knowing Kovid Zelazeh? That after them. So the Rebbe says, Adrabah, because each one of them, when he saw someone else was doing something wrong, because he had so much Avos Yisrael, so he had to make sure that he fixed the other guy out of Avos Yisrael. So
Mitzad Havana, to their understanding of what the Rebbe wanted, what Rabbi
Yeah,
Akiva wanted.
right,
That's
each
what
guy
it is.
thought that Rabbi Akiva wanted like this, and because you need to have Avos Yisrael,
Yes,
and,
to save his
and not just
friend.
think about yourself. You have to have Avos Yisrael. You have to. So he means well, but that's what all this whole war is, because each guy thinks that he's going to, fix the other guy. You know what I'm saying? And then that was Mamait, the Nog, COVID zealous, each guy's hacking the other guy and saying, listen, you're doing it wrong, and then they're making all these fights. But what the Alter Rebbe was saying is he had a chassid, and he wrote to the Moshe Meislish. I think he told him you should ask Mechila from some snagi that was mavaza him. So Misnagi was Mavaza, Moshe Meislish, and the Alter Rebbe saying he should go to him to ask him Mechila. Something like that. That's what I read. Oh, here, right over here. She says, Bakasha say la ruach tara belibai atohir la haver al midoisaf. Kvamen as al kol amaver al v'chulu. V'li yismin an al lovim or la vakish mechila barabi memanogid meir neira yoro. He's asking him to ask from this other guy mechila. V'lase zeis l'manayu l'mana shalim. Ki ein shalim yitzim b'teich meriva. Chas v'shalom. But b'frat b'machloikis l'shem shamayim. Asher roi v'atzoris v'atlois hein v'machloikis l'shem shamayim. Harachamon yatzileinu mimena.
Read that sentence again. Rov machloikis.
Come from machloikis l'shem shamayim. Where's the pianuach over here? I'm reading it out of like original handwriting. But there's a lot to talk about. The Meir Shapiro, the Beis Yisrael, all these chavre came to the Rebbe's Chasana. You know the Meir Shapiro from Chacham Lublin?
Yeah.
He came to the Rebbe's Chasana. And the Rebbe Rayatz told him, speak to him in learning. Speak to my son-in-law in learning. So the Rebbe mixed out. The Rebbe, but he's like, he tried to, but the Rebbe Rayatz wanted, and this, he went and he spoke to the Rebbe in learning, and they were speaking for a very, very long time together by the Chassan in learning, and he told the Rebbe Rayatz, like he said, you got to aid him, which is a Goren Oilam, and the next day, after the Chassan, Rebbe Shapiro again came to the hotel where the Rebbe was, and he spoke to the Rebbe in learning for like 4 hours or something, and he gave the Rebbe mentioned this, that Meir Shapiro came to his chasana by Farbrengen, and the Rebbe mentioned, it says in the Sefer Oira Meir for the Meir Shapiro so and so. And the Rebbe, whatever the Rebbe would mention, the Rebbe was a big honor. So the Rebbe said, how do I know what it says in the Sefer Oira Meir? The Rebbe says, ich bin nicht baki in Sfarim, I'm not baki in all these Sfarim. The Rebbe said, the Meir Shapiro came to my chasana, and he gave me a Sefer Eira Meir as a present, Rosh Hashanah. Like he writes over here, Matas Drosha, Le'in ve'agafen, B'nei Avan, Iloin, Kadishin, Be'emach Hasuna, Gimel ve'yishlach Tavresh Beitaz, Be'ir Varsha, Meisa Machaber, Meir Shapiro. This is what he gave the Rebbe in the Sefer. Also, the Eir Samayach was by the Rebbe's Chasana. And the Rebbe wrote over here, Mesifre, his name, Yudal Kislev Tavresh Beitaz. So, the kid said, so the Meir Shapiro spoke with the Rebbe. Where is it?
Chaim.
Menachem Zembe came to the Rebbe's chasana.
Oh, Menachem Zembe?
Yeah.
So the Nazis killed him.
Yeah, right. Shemikim Domei. It's by the Rebbe's chasana. Many, all the Rebbes, all the Rabbanim then, there was like a dance of all the Rebbes, they were dancing together. Like it's a very, very, the chasana was till the morning.
Was the Babasher?
No, I don't think so, no. He was by the chasana. There was a lot of dancing. The Rebbe Rayatz. There's a lot to talk about. What do we jump in? L'chaim v'levracha. Samachta samach re'yim ha'opi v'samech ha'chayetzilcha v'gadin v'yikadra samachta samach re'yim ha'opi
I need to pick it up tonight.
I'm coming back in a minute. I'm going across the show and get some ice. I'm getting some ice.
No problem. Wait a second. Maybe we could turn on the air conditioning, turn on something again, huh?
This one or the fan?
No, I hate the fans.
No. The Rebbe is Hasana is our Hasana.
Yeah.
That's it.
You feel the Rebbe Simcha?
Oh.
Feel the Rebbe Simcha. It's our Chasana. And also, yes, we are our connection to the Rebbe. Chaim Leveracha should be. I was thinking I shall find this. So. Okay, so I was thinking, we were saying a bracha that I should find this COVID, the envelope, Bezer Hashem, Chayiv Mamish. But the main bracha that we want is that you should see that the Rebbe Alein zal kommen, not only find the $dollars and hear his bid, we should see the Rebbe Melech B'Yofi Techazen Neineinu. We should see the Rebbe himself should come, take of me ad Mamish, and take us to the Gula Mitzvah Shlema. We should see the Rebbe Melech B'Yofi Techazen Neineinu. Take of me ad Mamish L'chaim. Ja, ik wil de corner, ik wil het daar beneden. Ik wil het daar heel hebben. Gaan we zo doen dat? Oké. Oké. Bij de Rebbe's Chasana. Anything left over there? I hope, yeah. Huh?
Thanks.
But the Rebbe's Chasana, the Rebbe Ayatz, the Rebbe the Shver, the Sidereno, the Rebbe Shver, went around with a bottle of mashke and was giving everyone l'chaim. Huh? Makara. Tzetzi? Tzetzi.
Space CPA.
Wow, look at that.
Be a CPA.
Yeah.
Work hard with it.
In Tavshin and Bays, the Rebbe,
What year is that?
1992.
Nice.
The Rebbe did something actually pretty interesting. That by Yudalit Kislev was actually Tezvov or Tezayin Kislev. The Rebbe stood by the door of his room, and the Rebbe handed out to every single person the booklet Drushe Chasana. The booklet with the Maimorim, of his Chasana that the Rebbe Rayat said by the Rebbe's Chasana, and the Rebbe gave it to every single person. They shall learn. The Rebbe gave it to every single person they shall learn. It's actually the booklet that the Rebbe Rayat gave out by the booklet that has in it the Maimorim that his father said in connection with the Rebbe's Chasana. The Maimer that the Rebbe Rayat said by the Rebbe's Ufruf, the Shabbos before the Rebbe's Chasana. There's no sifris. There's one little piece. L'chaim.
I don't need go. What did
You say
they
the
say?
Sefer Mamorim?
My daughter knows everything. She does.
Huh?
The Chasana, which Chasana?
The Rosh Hashanah of Dennis Menachem was a big fat sefer. The Rebbe gave out a little booklet that's like 30 pages. So they added more Maimorim.
It looks very interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem. So the point is over here that the Rebbe, now one of the Yonim actually I'm thinking about now, the Rebbe says over there, the Rebbe Rayat says, is why does a Chosin get an Aliyah La Torah, the Shabbos, before his Chasana? Why? Because the Chosin is going to start off to build his world. So the term it says is Binyan Adayad, is building a building. So when you build a building, you need to have foundations to hold up the building, that to keep the building standing. If you're going to build a building with no foundations, it's going to, as nice as the building looks, and as much as you invest in the structure and the paint and I don't know what, the building is going to collapse. The foundations is very important. Why do we say, what's the bracha that Rebbe always writes is, Bidin Adayat, eternal home, al Yisoidei HaTorah VaMitzvah, on the foundations of Torah and mitzvahs. What is, everyone wants their building, their house to be a binyan adayat. It should be forever and ever. Therefore, it needs to be al Yisoidei HaTorah VaMitzvah. The Yisoid of the house needs to be Torah and mitzvahs. Because what is eternal? What is Ein Sof? What is something that's adayat? The Eibishter. Hashem is Ein Sof. The Eibishter, there's no limit. The Eibishter's Torah and mitzvahs is one thing with Hashem himself, Hashem, Kuchabricho Vairaisa Kulachad, Hashem and his Torah. Torah and Mitzvah is Hashem's desire and wisdom. So if someone builds his house on top of Torah and Mitzvah, he's so to speak building his house on top of the Eibishter. So the Eibishter is forever, so his house is also going to be forever. So it's Binyan Adeyad Al Yisoidei HaTorah VaMitzvah. Before, if you want, the koyach needs to come from Torah. How did the Eibishter create this world? The Eibishter created the world from Torah. Hashem looked inside the Torah, and from the Torah he made the world. With the 10 utterances of Hashem, that made the world. The world was created from the Torah. The Torah makes the world. So therefore, a chassan, before he's going to build his world, he needs to be istakel by Raisa. He has to look inside the Torah. When he gets an aliyah la Torah, and he looks inside the Torah and he sees the letters of the Torah, that's giving him the koyach. Now, he has the koyach of the Torah to go build a house. So when someone is...
So if you're 18 years in, are you too late?
No.
No, I'm saying someone.
You're married 18 years?
I'm not talking about me, but yes, I am. That happens to
That's it, really?
Like you said before, when the Rebbe
You
talks
were like
about
a
another Rebbe, you know,
He's talking about himself. Yeah.
You're a newlywed.
He's talking about someone,
That's a different
someone,
Farbrengen. That's a different Farbrengen.
but it's never too late. No. You could always chaparain and fix, stick in some foundations under the building. It's never too late. But I'm sure you do.
Behind the foundation.
It's never too late. Don't worry. You can always chaparain. The more you connect yourself to Torah and
It costs a
mitzvahs,
little more.
the more the Rebbe was
A
always,
little more of the donations.
the Rebbe would make fun of
And the
people.
donations.
You can
That-
sue the insurance.
His and call platinum, to help you out.
Right.
So basically, the Rebbe was very into, the Rebbe would make fun of, so to speak, of people that waste their time before a chasana with making sure that they have, Pinya Korf, Alav Shalom, Pinya Korf, he asked the Rebbe, what's the Rebbe's opinion of having a photographer by his chasana? You guys are going to faint if you hear this. The Rebbe told him, with the amount of money you want to pay a photographer, you can hold up a whole class in a yeshiva in Morocco for a full year. For a full year, the amount of money you're going to pay for the photographer, if you invest that, if you give that money to the yeshiva in Morocco, you're going to hold up a whole class for a full year. And he doesn't have one picture from his chasana. He took the money and he gave it to the yeshiva in Morocco.
I was thinking about this today, by the way. I was thinking about if we support a yeshiva in South Africa, most of us almost could do like
It is that
a whole yeshiva, like
the way. If the wife
yeah, like it
needs
does 20
if
times
the
as
wife
money.
needs it, because this is the
If
life.
you get 10,000.
Now you have to go. Forget about the yeshiva in Morocco. But if the wife is different, so that it becomes a taiva.
So the Rebbe does write, in that, like Rebbe says, I don't hold about spending thousands of dollars on flowers, and you need to have more flowers. Why? Because the other guy had more flowers. So therefore, if you don't have the $10,000 of flowers, it's showing you're already missing the whole. There's no purpose of a chassid if you don't have 10,000. If you have 8,000, no, you have to have 10. And the Rebbe's like,
That's the last of 10,000?
I think that's the maskana, that's the Shulchan Aruch, at least minimum $10,000.
On flowers.
How many
And
flowers does it
flowers.
have to be?
And if you can get it for a discount, it doesn't work. You have to spend $10,000. It's not a deal with the flowers; it's a deal with the money. You have to be able to say, "Spend."
Not even a
That's
the
the
money.
joke over
It's
here.
a dinner you can tell somebody
That-
that
that
you
I-
spent $10,000.
Yeah, you can show off. Okay, Ted. And the Rebbe was like, they made a whole video, whatever.
Jackie Mason.
It's what a bit over here, but yeah.
Jackie Mason talks about how people go on vacation. He said people go on vacation to these weird, exotic places, island of France, off the coast. There's nobody there. There's no plumbing. No one's ever been there. It's like native, and they'll come back and they'll tell you, oh, it was so beautiful. It was no one. I sat down on the sand. Not one foot ever stepped foot on the sand before. There was nowhere to flush the toilet over there. It was miserable. But they come back and they tell you, I went over here.
Right. So the whole point is to just show off, and you're missing the point.
Jackie Mason makes fun of me.
Yeah, the
5
whole,
minutes straight.
he was
Well,
saying it's not even about you. You don't even enjoy it. He was saying these people go to these backward places
I went over to him, I was like,
and they go there. They don't even enjoy it, but they have to go someplace so much sugar so they can
To
show
show off.
people.
You
that,
know,
"Oh, I went
the
there."
Eked, it's so China's dick. It's so this. And then every many times, like, was making fun, so to speak. Like, people wasting money on flowers and this and that, like, and orange juice and this. People need, these guys are getting married. The guy needs money for rent for the next year. Let him break his head and go with sugar. At least, spend $1 million on the night of the chasana, and then this guy that has got to live off, instead of all of that fluff, whatever, invested in something more. But the main thing that Ebbe says is you're investing so much in a one night event. You're about to build a building. Invest in the foundations of the building. You're investing in a one night celebration. That's not the Ikar of the Chasana. The Ikar of the Chasana is the whole life, regarding Bar Mitzvahs also. The Rebbe wrote, there's many letters of the Rebbe says, it's a way, like the Rebbe complains about this, why do people waste, I don't know what the exact wording of the Rebbe is, but the point the Rebbe was complaining, why are they investing, they should know how to read Kriyas HaTorah the day of his Chasana, the day of his Bar Mitzvah. You should know how to read the Torah. You should be able to get up and read the Torah, and that's it. Well, now he's turning 13. He's starting to be mechoyev b'mitzvahs. Till then, he wasn't obligated to do medayraisa to fulfill whatever. Now he's starting to be mechoyev b'mitzvahs. Does he know kitzur shulchan aruch? Does he know like all the chiyuvim? He has to say Kriya Shema on time every day before a specific time. He has to wash negavasar. He needs to say Berachas HaShachar. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. Does he know basics in Shulchan Aruch, which brachas to say, not to be machal Shabbos? So many things. And it says they're paying a tutor. The kid is sitting over there for hours. How to read the Torah for 20 minutes, half an hour. It says take all of that time and put it into mitzvah asay d'oraisa. To read the Torah is not a mitzvah asay d'oraisa. For him to be mekayim Torah and mitzvahs, the Rebbe said, what do you say here? The Rebbe is even complaining just to read the Torah. The Rebbe is saying the Rebbe says, take that money, take that time, invest, take that tutor, and let him learn with him kitzur shulchan aruch.
The Rebbe says that if it comes in treasure, if they're learning the Torah, it's a new minhag. It's not a minhag from Yemei Kedem. If it's a new minhag that now he has to do the kriya, it's like a show that he has to make. The Rebbe says, if that takes away from the learning, preparing for the day in the mitzvahs, then forget about it. He said the tafel, like you take it the ikar and make it a tafel. That's what he says.
Right. Yeah, the Rebbe writes it more than once, more than one Rebbe. But the point the Rebbe is,
The ikar is
he's being mechoyev mitzvahs today. Does he know the mitzvahs that he needs to be mekayim? And he just, it's good to know how to learn. The Rebbe Raya knows it's a good thing to know how to learn. But you're not teaching him how to learn. You're teaching him how to read that parsha, whatever.
Which wedding was celebrating?
The Rebbe's chasana. The Rebbe. The point over here is, the Rebbe says also for a chasana.
Also, your end coming up.
Yes, Yoed and anyone else that needs. Also Gilad, and you also with the right time. Everyone at the right time, Be'ez Hashem. You also everyone at the right time. But the point over here is,
we got the Rebbe's brachas. We got the Rebbe's brachas.
Be'ez Hashem.
Matter of making it manifest in Gashmi.
Yes.
That's it, time.
The Ikar is that Rebbe says L'chaim Levracha, L'chaim Levracha, L'chaim.
A good l'chaim of this.
I wish of this.
Not kiddush l'chaim.
L'chaim.
Somebody told a story about the Rebbe's being at the Rebbe's wedding.
Oh.
I don't remember. There was some person put in so much effort to be there. They didn't know really who. They knew that he was I don't remember. It was like such a struggle to get there, and it was such a small little event.
No, it wasn't a little event. It was in the newspapers before and after. It was a big event. To get in, you needed a special pass. It wasn't so simple.
Where was it?
In Varsha. Warsaw.
Were you there?
Was I there? No. Maybe my neshama was there, but I wasn't. And so we're saying over here, the chassan gets an aliyah letoida before the chassan. Why? Roof uf, to call up. In Yiddish, the roof means to call, uf means up. Roof uf. Roof oif roof. Means to call up to the Torah.
What means up? Uf.
Aliyah, like aliyah letoida, but roof oif, to call up to the Torah. Can you say in English?
Roof means to call.
Yeah. And up means oif.
So we're saying it backwards. We call
Yeah.
it uf.
So
It
the
should be a
word
roof
roof
uf.
in it means
Yeah.
it's called its name.
Backwards.
I mean roof.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah. So that's what the Rebbe Ayat
To
says.
call up for an aliyah.
Right, to call them up to the Torah. Because that is the foundation of a Jewish house. Yiddish home, and it's founded on Torah, then the house lasts forever. Be'ezrat Hashem. Chaim l'chaim.
Good job. Solid job, man. Good, good.
Let-it-I, 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 ay, 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 let-it-I, let-it-I, let-it-I,
You win.
let-it-I, let-it-I, ay, 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 let-it-I, ay, 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 oh, yeah, na, na, yeah, yeah, na, na, yeah, 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 na, na, ah, yeah, 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 oh, yeah, na, na, ah, yeah, 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 oh, yeah, na, na. So the Rebbe once mentioned a story regarding his own chasana. The Rebbe says over here that the Rebbe Rayatz, his shver went around giving everyone l'chaim by his chasana. And the Rebbe,
What do you say?
the Rebbe Rayatz went around by the Rebbe's chasana with a bottle of mashke and a towel, and he gave everyone l'chaim by all the tables. And the Rebbe says that he couldn't see Shver, the Rebbe Rayat's going around working so hard, going to every single person, giving him l'chaim and this. So the Rebbe stood up, and the Rebbe wanted to go help out his Shver. And he told him, sit down. But the Rebbe said, I was on Shmilkis. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't stay, and I was like standing up and this until that his Shver came back, and the Rebbe Rayatz came back and sat down. But why? Because a chassid is Rebbe Melech. Why didn't you let him help? Because you can't. A chassid is compared to a king, and you can't have a chavod for a king to make the king work hard. On the contrary, you have to help out the king. But the point of the one Sevi, when the Rebbe Rayatz came to the wall, all the Bachrim were standing by the wall to watch the chasana, and Rebbe Rayatz told the mashkiach of the Bachrim and Alter Simchovich to give all the Bachrim the say l'chaim. And then the Rebbe Rayatz said to them a short sichat, all the Bachrim, which is very important. He said like this: Tmimim, Eina Torah miskayemes, Ela b'mi shemeimis atzmei aleh. The Gemara says that Torah in Zohar, the Torah does not, the Torah isn't miskayim. The Torah doesn't stay fresh. Doesn't stay. But the Torah is not miskayim. The Torah doesn't rest like we're gonna say later on. The Torah doesn't be fulfilled. The Torah doesn't be by a person if he doesn't, so to speak, kill himself on it. And he says, Kima Torah bo al yidei. What does that mean? The Torah, in order for the Torah to stay by a person, the Torah should continuously stay by a person and be by a person, be with a person, is through the person toiling, through working hard. Someone that's going to work hard, he will come to the depth and to the real meaning of a specific concept. Even if someone has is very smart, has a very good brain, he has a very edel seichel, is a very refined brain. So when he learns something right away, understands the Gemara, whatever it is, he hops it right. He doesn't need to work hard till he understands some very edel svarim. Right away he hops it. Even someone that has such a brain, he says, if someone else, you have this guy that he can understand things right away, but the other guy doesn't have such a good brain, but he works hard, he toils and he works very, very hard to understand something, he will understand the depth of this concept more than the guy that has the good head, with the good brain, the sharp guy. You have a simple guy that's not so smart, and you have the genius. The simple guy can understand it deeper and better more than the genius. Why? Because if he's working hard, if he's just, the genius guy just reads it, he understands it, and he moves on. The other guy, the simple guy, is working hard and he's toiling. He's going to understand it much deeper, the real pshat, more than the guy that just learns it fast. Check, he got it, and he goes on.
Now I know my problem.
He says, and he explains the reason. The Rebbe Rayatz says the reason. Why is that in Torah? This is not mathematics or something. He says, Torah is a godly chokhmah. Shagam seichel nigla shebetera alakus. Even nigla the Torah, even Gemara is alakus, is godly. Someone said, Lubavitch is against learning Gemara. Why? Because they don't do daf yomi. So you got it all wrong. Lubavitch has nothing wrong with learning Gemara. Why don't they learn daf yomi? First of all, the problem is not with the daf yomi. To learn Gemara every day, that's not the problem. The problem is that you're limiting it to a daf. That you have to learn a daf every day. What if a daf needs 2 days? What if it needs a week? But you have only 1 day to do it. If 1 day, so what are you going to do? Tomorrow there's another daf. So you're going to learn it shachaplap, you're not going to really understand it well, and then you're going to need to move on to the next daf. What's if you can learn 10 daf in one day? It's a very easy Gemara. So you learned your daf, you spent your 5 minutes because it was such an easy daf, and you closed the Gemara, and now you can take your time. You could learn 10 daf. Why aren't you learning 10 daf? Because you only have a daf. The way it should be is you have a certain amount of time that you spend to learn Gemara. So if you finish learning a daf, you'll finish a daf. You finish learning 10 daf. You finish learning 5 lines, you did 5 lines. But there's nothing against learning Gemara. Yotes Kislev is coming up. The Rosh Hashanah for Chassidus. What do we do on the Rosh Hashanah for Chassidus? We split up the Gemara. We split up the Shas. That each person should take a Masechta to learn throughout the year. There's no... Okay, so the Rebbe Rayach is here saying, also Nigla the Torah is a Lakus. The Eibishter is a Gemara. It's Hashem's Torah. Even though it's Nigla, it's Hashem. B'shvil zeh u'masha bo'im b'godus. He says, this is the reason why we're coming into Godus. I explain why we're in Godus. So let's see if he's how Godus he be Yisrael. Godus is in Yidden in general, and in those that learn Torah in particular. Va'atem t'mimim b'frat, and you t'mimim, you bacharim, even more. You have this in of Godus, which l'cha'oyre Amar Sheish was arichas dvarim ala shaloi kan hamak v'loi cases malakach. The Rebbe Rayach then said that there's a lot to talk about this, but now is not the time, and now is not the place, and now is not the time to get into this. It could be that, and I think he's saying what it says in the Geras HaKodesh. The Alter Rebbe writes that the whole point is to the certain parts of Torah that are in Godus, that it's not clear what the pshat in that thing is, and that's what the whole idea of nigla is, of Gemara. If you're going back and forth, and through clarifying something, you're taking a certain piece of Torah out of Godus. When someone doesn't understand something, when something is not clear in Torah, that part of Torah is in Godus, is in exile, because people don't understand it. It's in darkness, it's in jail, so to speak. When you learn it, and you understand it, and you light it up, you're taking that part of Torah out of Godus, so to speak. So he's saying Godus is in Yidden, in the Torah, in the T'mimim, and he wasn't Meirich. Well, maybe that's what the Rebbe Rayach is saying over here. But the Iker he's saying is the Iker Kima Torah Hu V'Misha Meimis Atzim Eleh. The main fulfillment, what makes the Torah exist and be fulfilled and continue to live, is by those that are Meimis Atzim Eleh, people that, so to speak, kill themselves on the Torah. They die on the Torah, so to speak. But Beruchnis, which not in Beruchnis, they take their pleasures, their thing, and they throw it away, and they throw themselves in the Torah. The Una Tamimim. The Rebbe says, please listen up, Tamimim. Shalechem lavatel atzmechem mikol v'kol. You need to totally nullify yourself completely. Put put your whole self aside. Totally. And what should you do? Throw yourself into Torah. Tilmadu Torah begia. Put yourself into Torah, to toil in Torah. V'zehu gam b'Torah niglis. He says this is also a nigla to Torah. This is not only in Chassidus. Don't just say you're going to toil in learning my Gemara. And also in Gemara. In nigla. Tilmadu Chassidus. Chumash and everything. Don't only say Chassidus. There's a nigla also. Tilmadu Chassidus. And there shouldn't only stay in your, like a nice lumdis of Chassidus. You know, you learned a nice mimer, a nice pilpul in Chassidus. Rather, you should bring it lidei poil. Bring it to action, bring it to good character traits. ואז הנני מברך אתכם שתבשעו בכל העניינים הנצרכים לכם ותאריכו ימים ושנים. I'm mentioning you through this. You have a salvation in all of your inyanim, whatever you need, and you should live a long life. So what he's saying, Meimis Atzmoi is he says the Meimis your pleasures, Meimis the Zaitika Zacher and throw yourself into learning Torah the way it's, toil in Torah. So this is something very, very connected. You see, the whole idea of Chassan is connected to Torah also, right? Matan Torah was like Eidusin. And we learn Torah, it says over here, and you learn Torah, you're like getting married to Hashem, so to speak. You're becoming one with the Eibishter. That's what the Alter Rebbe says in Geras HaTshuva, in Perek Tes, and in many, many times, that the Yichud, to be one with Hashem, is through learning Torah. When a Yid learns Torah, this the Eibishter, he says it's the biggest Yichud that there can be. It's through learning Torah. Ein Yichud Kamayu v'loi ke'erikei nimtza klal b'gashmis. There's no such a unity that someone becomes so one with something, the Eibishter is in his Torah. And when someone learns the Torah is in his head.
It's even more than husband and wife.
Yeah, that's what Alter Rebbe is saying. It's the v'loi ke'erikei nimtza klal b'gashmis. In b'gashmis, there's no such a Yichud. The Yid is wrapping the Torah around. And the Torah is also wrapping him around. So this is like totally becoming one with the Torah through learning Torah. It says that after the Rebbe Rayad said this, he went, he made a record, he was dancing with the Manalim and the Mashkichim and with all the Bacharim and everyone. And after that, he said, the Maim Rasher Bar Sasan V'Simcha. So L'chaim L'vracha. When they wrote to the Rebbe about a Farbrengen that they made for Yudalit Kislev, the Rebbe said, they wrote to the Rebbe the whole schedule. They did this, they did that. This guy smoked, that guy smoked. They had soda, they had cookies by the Farbrengen, whatever. So the Rebbe wrote...
Flowers.
No, that they didn't have. The Rebbe wrote, the fella, and something, it's a wonder that Dafke, you didn't mention anything about Marakta and about dancing by the Farbrengen, which very clearly says in the Mishnah, Ketan Marakta Lifnei Kala. So you mentioned to me about a whole bunch of good Zach, and this guy said, where's the Marakta? Should be Marakta, L'chaim, L'chaim. Asher Marazazan V'Simcha V'Kala Asher Marazazan V'Simcha V'Kala Asher Marazazan V'Simcha V'Kala Asher Marazazan V'Kala
Yeah. All right.
All right, that's it.
I'm done with Sean.
Where are you going? Hurry, not the
Shane, I feel like I gotta
It's too early to go to the You got to
He said get a tshuva.
Shachar 15.
Tell you like you muchet.
You got to say tshuva. What did I say? Good man, you got to say tshuva. And Kanye, you got to say tshuva. I'm good man. In the Sefer Atanas, you got to say tshuva.
No, the first part.
I took all the risks.
That's in Perek Hey.
Yeah.
That I said that. But
Oh,
also in the get to say tshuva, that's what it says. Shkoyach. Now,
Wasn't a chadish.
what?
Wasn't a chadish.
There he says the tshuva for Royes. This is through Limud Torah. Why? Like it says, we have a chavel and you cut it, you have to tie it. So he says a guy did who's poiging about this. The tikuna, what's the hebech is Limud Torah. The page up in he says to learn the yichud of the brain. He says chesed ve'emes, right? Chesed is stuck in the emes, ain't emes of the Torah, right? Okay, l'chaim l'chaim.
You don't know Arish South Africa?
A little bit. I don't know. You told me
He's
his
in
name.
town. No, he's in town. I thought he was going to combine me to it.
Okay, so what I was thinking to do, because the Rebbe gave out the mimer, his mimer, he gave out to my modern that they said by his chasana. So it's befitted that we should learn a piece of the mimer at least. I'll say Baal Peh, a piece of the mimer. That the Rebbe Rayat said by the Rebbe's chasana. Before the Rebbe Rayat said this mimer, the Rebbe said that it's known that by a chasana, the Zaydis, 3 generations come to the chasana. 3 generations come from Gan Eden, from Elam Ha'emes. 3 generations. The Zayda, the Alta Zayda, the Alta Zayda. So the Rebbe Rayat said that by some people, even more generations come. Not only 3, sometimes it's 4, 5, 6. So the Rebbe Rayat said then by the Rebbe's chasana that by here, more than 3 generations are going to come. And he's basically said that all the Rabbeim are going to come to the Rebbe's chasana. And he said that once you invite, how do you invite Neshamas from Gan Eden is through saying their Torah. Their tzaddikim are one, just like the Eibishter is one with his Torah. No nafshik savis elvis anoichi. Anoichi, the Eibishter says, Anoichi Hashem lekacha. No nafshik savis elvis. The Eibishter put himself in his Torah, like it says in Zoyar. On the pasuk vayikhu li truma. So the Zoyar says vayikhu not li but oisi. Take me. You're taking the Eibishter himself. How do you take the Eibishter? Through Truma. Truma is Oisi, it's Torah with a mem, which is going on the 40 days the Torah was given, and that's in the middle of the word. So through Torah, you're taking the Eibishter himself. So too, tzaddikim doinim l'bayrim, that tzaddikim are in their Torah, they put themselves in their Maimarim and in their Torah. So through saying their Torah, you're bringing those neshamas down. And the Rebbe said then that he's inviting the Alter Rebbe and the Mittler Rebbe and the Tzemach Tzedek, the Rebbe Marash. Like the way the Rebbe said it, the Rebbe Rayat said it, is he's inviting the Zayda, which is the Rebbe Rashab, and the Alter Zayda, which is the Rebbe Marash, the Alter Elder Zayda, which is the Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek, and the Alter Zayda, which is the Mittler Rebbe, and the Alter Zayda, that's the way he called him. He said the Alter Zayda, he said the Alter Zayda, whatever. And he invited all the Rabbaim like that, and then he said a mimer, he said a mimer, and he actually said that when you say the mimer, you should picture, hey, Bala Shmuel Midlanegedena. It says, I think in Yerushalmi, when you say a Torah from someone, you should have picture him there. So that was saying, you should picture all the Rabbeim are coming there to give a bracha to the Chassan and the Kala. So every Chassan, the Rebbe says they should say this mimer by their chasana. Why? Because they want to invite all the Rabbeim. They should come to their chasana, so they should say this mimer. And therefore, the Rebbe said that you shouldn't cut off any piece of the mimer. You should say the whole entire mimer. There used to be like a minute. You start saying the mimer, and then you cut them off. They say like so when they didn't see you cut. So the Rebbe said you should say the whole entire mimer because you want to invite all the Rabbeim. And the Rebbe Rayatz, when he said the mimer, he didn't say this Rebbe says this and this Rebbe said that. He just said the whole mimer. And in that, it included all the Rabbeim. So he says, therefore, you shouldn't miss out any piece, because if he's not going to say a piece, he's missing out an invitation from one of the Rabbeim. Therefore, he should say the whole entire mimer from the beginning till the end. And in order to be makayim that minute of a milavah, to be mavayish mishayloi, so the chassan should start over the mimer a second time. Should say the whole mimer and then start over a second time. Well, the second time, cut him off, but let him say the whole mimer like that. He can invite all the Rabbeim. Okay, so when the Rebbe's mimer is a very, very short mimer. It's interesting, actually. The Rebbe said this mimer when the Shabbos of the chassan of his shver, not by his. The Rebbe chazar over a mimer that the Rebbe his chassan said about the Shabbos of the chassan of his shver. But who got married that week? Rabbi Yoel Khan and a Bleibel Groner. The Shabbos Ufruf of Rabbi Yoel Khan, the Rebbe's Choizer, one of the biggest, geniuses in Chabad. He wrote all the Rebbe's Maimorim. So he got married that week. And Rabbi Bleibel Groner, which was the Rebbe's personal secretary, and he was also a very, very big Talmud Chacham. He prepared many svarim.
They got married the same week?
Yeah, they both got married the same week. And he used to work for Kahos. So he was a very big time Chacham Rabbi Groner. He used to speak to the Rebbe learning. From the Mazkirim, from the Rebbe secretaries, he would speak to the Rebbe learning. The Rebbe would after the Farbrengen say, I mentioned by the Farbrengen this and that, and he used to talk to the Rebbe about in learning, whatever. It's interesting. And he used to after the Farbrengen write to the Rebbe questions and learning. He was a very, very, they say that he went to Toronto. I heard this, and Reb Shlomo Miller was speaking to him with the Rebbe's secretary, and he told, Reb Shlomo Miller is. Oh, his. Whatever, he's from the Me'etzes Gdolah Torah, whatever. He's a great, very famous Rav. The Ketzer said Rabbi Groner told him that Moshe Feinstein writes in a Tshuva, and he was very, very in the spot. He's a very famous Rav. He was in the spot that a Lubavitcher. The Rebbe's secretary, knows a letter in Nigris Moshe, and he showed him an answer, whatever. Kid said, so this is a mimer that Rebbe said before their chasana. So the Rebbe says over here, it says, Lecho doidi likaras kala p'nishabs nekabla. Doidi shall go towards the kala, and then pray Shabbos nekabla. So the Rebbe Rayatz in his mimer that he said by the Rebbe's chassan, he says chassan is doimet to Melech, to the Eibishter, and the kala is compared to Malka, which is chassan is the Eibishter, and kala is Knesset Yisrael. In the sphere is what is it going on? Zoh is the chassan, the Melech, and Malchus is Knesset Yisrael, is the kala, is the Yid. And this is what it says, you're saying, you're telling the chassan, l'chod doidi, The Choshen go the Kras Kala. That's the Zoh, the Choshen, Zoh, should go down towards Malchus. Now, in order for Zoh to go down to Malchus, he says first there is a Hamshocha Chitzoinis, which is in a Makevdika way. And after that, there is a Hamshocha Pnimis. And he says this is the Seder by every Ashba from a Mashmiah to Makabel. Any Mashmiah that's giving to Makabel, first there needs to be a Hamshocha Chitzoinis from the Mashmiah to the Makabel. Anyone that's giving to someone else, you can't just come to someone and it's a surprise and go bunk. And he says over here, he gives two Mashalim over here, from a Shabbat of a Rav to a Talmud, and from a father that's playing with a little kid. A teacher can't just come to class and just start exploding the classroom and with teaching. The students are not going to be there for him. So first he has to come down to the students. The teacher has to come down to the students. He has to tell them a joke. And like this, they laugh. And like this, he opens their mind up. And now once you do them, now they're a kli for him to teach. So he says this is, the Rebbe is saying over this, that the Rebbe Rayadz brings two examples. He brings these examples. It's not only in order to bring an example for this, that first you have to have a connection from the one that's giving to the receiver in an outer way, and after that, you could give him a more pnimistic way. He's not only coming to bring a dogma for the Seder Hashma, but the Rebbe is saying over here that he's coming to bring out a mile of the Hashma Chitzonis. Even though the joke is, or the father that wants to play with a little kid, like he was going to explain, the father has to bend down and pick him up from the floor. The father has to go down, and then he can pick him up to play with him. So it seems that the outer Ashba, the first part of joke or the father bending down, is not so important. So the Rebbe is saying no. It's a very, very high Ashba. And in a way, it's even higher and greater than the Ashba Pnimis, than the teaching. Because the Ashba Chitzonis, it's such a great Ashba, it's makif, that it surrounds him, it's abstract, that he cannot accept it and internalize it because it's such a great hashma. Like a joke, it's such a great hashma, the way he's saying over here, that it's not something, you see when someone cries or someone laughs, it's because he's not a kli for it. If someone if when you say something normal, there's nothing to laugh about, right? When you say something a bissel meshuga, or you say something interesting to the guy laughs, you take the person, go out of his box. Also, someone is crying, you cannot handle what's going on, so he bursts out. So that's Ashma. That's when it's above. When if someone understands something, there's some type of a thing, and the person isn't crying, it's because he's able to swallow it. So he's saying over here, Ashma Chitzonis, it's Agdoma for the Ashma Pnimis. The joke is Ashkdama for the teaching. The teaching, someone understands. Learning, you have to understand what's being taught. But that, he says, the Ashma Chitzonis is even greater than the Ashma Pnimis, because it's even higher than the Kalim of the Makabel. It's so great that he can internalize it. He can't go inside of him in a Pnimistic way. It's in a Makivdik way. But Ashma Pnimis, it goes inside the person that he can really understand. But he says over here that Ashma Chitzonis, in the end of the day, what's the Iker? The Ashma Pnimis. The Etzem is Nimshech and the Ashma Pnimis. And he says over here, it says, I'll call COVID Chuppah. On every type of a COVID, there is a Chuppah. Why are you saying on every type of a COVID? Which means that there's more than one type of COVID. There's more than one type of a COVID, and on top of that, there's a Chuppah. What's our call COVID? He says there's a COVID of the chosin and the COVID of the kala, COVID of Abba, COVID of Ima. And I'll call COVID, there is a chuppah. So through the chuppah, which is Ashpachit Makif, this is Akdama for the Ashma Pnimis of Yichud Abba Ima, Yichud Chacham Zun. Okay, we learned a piece of the mimer.
Aren't there 7 more you give kabods, you give them every Sheva Bracha is a kabod, the witnesses, the rabbi.
Now here it means something else. I understand. Yeah, you're correct. You're machabed someone with kibudim, right? But here